77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. You know, your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.
Katz and Cosby on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Breaking news, WABC.
Well, the President of the United States was on WABC this morning, and he was on for, I guess, almost 40 minutes.
Wow, it was a home run.
And he was on with Sid Rosenberg, and Sid Rosenberg is with us right now to talk to us about it.
Hey, Sid, and Sid, before we go, I want to play this because he talked about his trip to China, and here's a little bit, Sid, about what he told you. It's making worldwide news, my friend. Here it is.
This meeting coming up on Thursday with China.
Well, I think it's going to be good, and we do have a good. It's good to have a good relationship. You know, when I first got involved, China was just really taking advantage of us, and they're not anymore. And you know, we do great with China, but we have a very good relationship, and you know, a lot of advantages to us getting along. And if we didn't get along, you'd know about it.
Sid Rosenberg, that was just one of the things. He's now off to China, and before he took off, he spoke with you. So what did you think were the big headlines? You talked about so many things, Sid.
We did, and like John said, he gave me 40 minutes, which is pretty unheard of in radio. He'll do that on Fox and Friends in the morning. He'll sit with Sean Hannity for an hour, but radio 40 minutes is unheard of. And starting with the China news right there, Rita, you're right. I've already seen that, believe it or not, guys, on CNN. It's pretty surreal to walk down the stairs, and there I am on CNN talking to Trump about China. Look, you guys know it's a very, very weird relationship. There's no question that Xi, just like Putin and the guy in North Korea, all these enemies, they love Trump. They do love him. But the truth is, it's a weird relationship because China right now is helping Iran. That's the bottom line. China is helping Iran. They're getting them weapons through the Caspian Sea. They're helping the Russians get them drones. And here we are trying to stop Iran. Yet on the other hand, China needs our help to make sure they get their oil from the Strait of Hormuz, so they need us. Plus, we've got the talks coming up about Taiwan and obviously the essential minerals and the car dealers and car makers here in the United States. So there's a lot in common, but there's a lot not in common. So the question is, how does President Trump make this trip work for us when the truth is it may look good on the outside, but it's not so good on the inside?
Craig Eaton.
Sid, it was a great segment this morning, and I love the fact that the president praised WABC and the fact that AM radios need to stay in automobiles, and he said he's going to do everything to help us. That was amazing.
And in fact, you guys hold on because I have that clip of where he talks about AM radio with Sid. And here is President Trump talking about something near and dear to our heart. And he said he is going to support it. Take a listen.
The one person that can save AM radio, he called you the big guy, is the big guy. So when Sid talks to President Trump, make sure Sid brings it up. So I'm bringing it up.
Well, you know, I don't know if you know it, but I delayed it a long time in my first term. I delayed it. And it got delayed, but, you know, time flies, and now all of a sudden it's coming up again. They were going to do it in my first term, and I wouldn't allow it to happen.
That's right.
But I'm glad you mentioned it because, you know, it's not on my radar for some reason because John Catsimatidis has done a phenomenal job. He should run ABC Television Network. He should run the ABC television stuff. They are the worst of all.
So what do you think, John? Are you going to get ABC Television Network? That's what Trump says you need to do.
Well, maybe I should take a shot at it.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think, Sid?
Sid always wants to be on television.
Yes, Sid, there's a chance. We just make it ABC Radio, ABC TV.
Listen, I'll take it. And Craig Eaton, thank you for bringing that up. But that was not me. That was all John. I spoke with John before the conversation with Trump, and he said, and John's been working hard on this for a long time. Yep. I got to give John Catsimatidis credit. Him and Chad Lopez, both of them have traveled across the country to make sure that AM radio is still relevant. But look, you know, ABC TV, they are terrible. Bill Ritter, maybe the worst of all the anchors. He's so biased. He's so agenda-driven. I do like NJ Burkett, but Bill Ritter may be the absolute worst. But the truth is that President Trump knows we need AM radio. Why? his favorite talk show hosts in the country are all conservative radio hosts, whether it's Sid Rosenberg, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, John Katsimatidis, Greg Kelly. We're all conservative radio hosts. So he knows that the reason why Democrats don't want it is that will silence us. So trust me when I tell you that there may be powers out there trying to stop it from happening. And even Congress keeps talking about this sunset clause, which gives us just 4 years or 8 years. But the president knows the importance of AM radio, the future of conservative talk radio. And I think in the end, John, Chad, Sid, we're going to win.
Yeah, that's a home run. And just like you said, and listen, not only for talk, but we've talked about it on the air for emergency purposes, during hurricanes, during storms, sometimes that's the only communication. So there's a lot of big key.
Now, there's a lot, the Democrats are trying to push something, Sid. They're trying to push the fact is they want a sunset clause. And AM radio is indispensable. Why a sunset clause? Who is pushing that? Yeah, you know what they're doing? It's the same thing they're doing in Iran. Let's have peace, and maybe we get the Democrats, voted in November, and then we can do whatever we want in Iran again. And the sunset clause, the word sunset clause means that the law goes away in 8 years. Well, that's a lot of crap. Why should it go away in 8 years? Is AM going to be less valuable in 8 years from now? What do you think?
Probably more valuable. And don't forget that even when Barack Obama and John Kerry, those two dopes, put together the initial Iran deal, which is the worst deal ever made in this country's history, me and Trump agree on that, they had a sunset clause, too. Do you know if President Trump did not get rid of that deal back in 2016, that Iran could have started making nuclear weapons 4 years ago? So all sunset clauses mean is it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah,
that's not good. We don't want the Democrats to happen eventually.
Well, what they want is that if we get our people in, we're going to change it. That's what bottom line is.
Well, we need to do that. We need to get our people in. We need to change it. I did ask President Trump, guys, this morning about the midterms, and he seemed as confident as ever. And one very important question I asked the president, guys, we're talking about Iran, of course, and we talked about regime change. We talked about the Strait of Hormuz. But I asked him flat out, President Trump, I said, listen to me, you and Bibi get along great? Yeah, we get along great. We've never been closer. Everything's great. There'd be no Israel without me. He's right about that. But I said, President Trump, are you 100% sure in your heart of hearts that we will make sure that Iran will never be able to enrich that uranium and build a nuclear bomb? And he took about 3 seconds and he said, Sid, 100%. They played that, Rita, too, by the way, on CNN and MS Now, and I think Fox News as well. So President Trump telling us this morning he is 100% sure. He left no room for any doubt. There'll be no enriched uranium and no nuclear weapons coming out of Iran.
And by the way, Sid, that was also, I think, in the Jerusalem Post, too, right? So it's like all over the place.
Yes. You know that I've actually been, so far this afternoon, I'm glad you mentioned that, Rita, on the cover of the New York Post, Jerusalem Post, and here's the best one of all. As of right now, we're on the cover, WABC, of the Iranian newspaper. Now we really made it.
Oh, wow. Where's Baghdad Bob when you need him? Now, Sid, let's get to New York, because he also talked about Ken Griffin and he talked about Mamdani. I want to play a little bit of this. This is what he told you about New York and the mayor. Here it is, Sid.
You can't tax people out of New York. When you tax people out of New York, you never get them back. They think they're going to get them back. Like she's trying to get them back now. You don't get them back. Once they leave, they're gone. And I mean, you won't have a city left. You won't have a state left. It's a very dangerous thing that's happening right now.
So, Sid, elaborate. What else did he tell you about the situation in New York?
The one thing I always do, guys, Rita and John and Craig and the whole crew, Judge, is I make sure I get to the New York stuff. Why is that? Because, look, everybody asks about China. He could be doing any radio show, any TV show in the country. China, Iran, midterms. But New York is either us. That's ours, okay? No one else is going to ask President Trump about New York for the most part. So he knows how much I hate Mamdani. I gave him the chance again today to say Mamdani's a bad guy. He wouldn't do it. In fact, twice he said, I think he's a good guy. But yet, after he said, I think he's a good guy, he admitted that forcing people out like Ken Griffin will destroy New York. Don't forget, President Trump is less than 3 weeks removed from putting on Truth Social. I hate to say this, but Mamdani is destroying New York. So, it's kind of a weird dynamic. On one hand, he goes, he's a good guy. I kind of like him. And then he admits that driving out people like Ken Griffin, maybe John Catsimatidis, will eventually ruin this city. And he's upset about it. He said, look, Ken pays a lot of taxes. And then he went, this is very funny, he goes, and so do I. So President Trump is still paying big taxes here in New York City. And he knows whether it's the governor, Kathy Hochul, who's doing a horrendous job. If God loves us, I know God does, Bruce Blakeman will be the next governor and save us. Kathy Hochul's doing a terrible job. And all those taxes she says she's not going to do now, she'll do them all because she's scared to death of Mamdani once she beats Blakeman. So Trump knows this. He knows that Hochul's a danger. He knows Mamdani's a danger. He knows we need people like Ken Griffin, John Catsimatidis, and Bill Ackman to stay in New York. He's saying all the right things, but if you shut the door and shoot him up with truth serum, he's going to tell you New York is in a lot of trouble.
What about ICE? Did he talk about, because there's definitely been a war of words especially between Tom Homan and Kathy Hochul of late.
Yeah, we talked about ICE quite a bit. I said, listen, President Trump, that's another thing. They vilify you. He's used the word evil. Mamdani has used the word evil to describe President Trump's administration. And yes, I even said to President Trump today, Rita and crew, I said, I got to tell you, this is going to sound terrible, but I actually think the Democrats are happy that Pretty and Good are dead. I really do. I think they like the fact that they're dead because those two dead bodies now give them an argument as to why ICE is bad. They don't care about the 100,000 rapists and murderers and drug dealers that we deported and put away. They don't care about the thousands of little kids that were lost during the Biden administration that we found. If you look at the numbers, guys, 2 people dead in Minnesota. We know one's enough. There were 2 dead. There's tens, if not hundreds of thousands of bad people that we've gotten out of this country. The numbers don't add up. So I said to Trump, I said, I think they like that. He didn't argue. He said, look, at the end of the day, these are not good people. They don't want to close the borders. They don't like ICE. So he said, no, I'm going to do? I'm going to change the name. They don't like ICE. But now I'm going to call them nice. I'm going to put national in front of ICE and call them nice. See if they like that. But he's very upset that the Mamdanis, the Hochuls, the Minnesotas, all these sanctuary cities and states are not doing right by our law enforcement agents. When you look at the numbers, guys, again, Pretty and Good, that's terrible, don't get me wrong, but the numbers say ICE or nice, they're doing a terrific job.
It's funny. What about the nice? How far is he from that actually happening? Because can you imagine, John, if the Democrats or say CNN has to say, well, the nice agent showed up at this such and such location. I mean, if he changes the name, how serious is he about that, Sid?
I think he's serious.
As the Gulf of America.
Yeah, and it happened, right?
Right. And I tell you this, one of the funniest parts of our conversation this morning was he says to me, Sid, you're not going to believe this. He goes, I got guys. They've been in politics for 25 years. 25 years. They'll call me. They say, President Trump, I got this big race coming up. I need a nickname. You need a nickname. He goes, look, I feel badly about some of those nicknames. He goes, I'm friends with Marco Rubio now. I'm friends with all these guys I nicknamed years and years ago. He said, but I am good, right, Sid? I came up with fake news. I came up with Pocahontas. She's still a bad person. But he said, Sid, almost every day, some politician calls me and says, I got to win this race, President Trump. Get me a nickname. He loves that.
Well, I mean, has he given you a nickname yet, Sid?
He's never given me a nickname. Now that you said that,
I mean, if you're going to run for mayor someday, you're going to need a nickname.
Well, you know what? I'm saving that for the next conversation. His daughter-in-law, Laura, has already endorsed me on the air. So has Bruce Blakeman. So has Mike Lawler. So has many people in this city. I'm not taking all that seriously just yet. You've done this, John. You know the deal. A lot of people are happy. More people are angry. When you look at the Republican field right now, I mean, Curtis is going to run again. This guy combined for 21%.
He has 3 chances. Slim, none, and less than none.
I think that's pretty accurate, yes. But he's going to do it again. So right now, if he's the best we've got, then I'm going to have to make that choice at some point soon and maybe jump inside the race.
Well, boy, that would be interesting. Can you imagine? Sid for mayor. I love it.
Well,
I love it.
I had Rachel Campos on today. She does a great job on the weekends, Rita. You know her. Fox News does a great job. She hosts the Facts and Friends on Saturday and Sunday. She's got a brand new book out celebrating 250. And I played the Lara Trump cut from last week. Well, Lara said, Sid, you got to do it. You basically have a set of balls. You're not going to back down. You're not going to be intimidated. You got to do it. And on the way out of a 20-minute conversation, Rachel Campos screamed with Sean Duffy right there, her husband, run for mayor. So if Rachel Campos says it, How can I say no?
How can you say no? Now you've had, and now I'm saying it. So you got 3 women saying it. Do you know 3 women saying, Sid, you got to do it? Guys would pay big bucks for that. All right.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Sid, I'll talk to you in the morning.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for bringing me on. And you guys do a great job. You know, Trump said to me, he goes, I was listening to John Katsimatidis last week. He said this. He goes, that guy really loves his country. He loves America. So for what it's worth, he's not listening now. He's on the plane on the way to China. But when he's around, President Trump loves you guys. So congratulations.
Oh, and he loves you too. And Sid, huge congrats on a big, big scoop, my friend. Well-deserved and awesome stuff. Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you. Awesome.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Katz and Cosby with John Katsimatidis and Rita Cosby. You can hear Katz and Cosby weekdays at 5. It's the 5 o'clock show on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
The following is a paid issue advertisement.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
Paid for by RealAmerica.vote, a DBA of New York Citizens Audit Civic Fund, Incorporated.
Go to realamerica.vote.